What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast, which is brought to you by the one and only Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. Do yourselves a favor and head on over to simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com to check out all the models, finishes, and visor options and get yourself dialed in with one of the best helmets on the market. And apparently you didn't catch them at Mama Tried this weekend, but maybe you saw Scott. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know if you did. I also want to thank Boosted Brad, and boostedbrad.com is the spot to find some kick-ass products for your motorcycle. Brad has a product for any budget, from pegs to risers and everything in between. Check out all the products and get yourself dialed in while you're on his website with some dope-ass apparel. Boostedbrad.com. Use Fast Life at checkout. Save yourself 5% on everything you buy, or the entire order. I guess that's how it works. And give him a follow on Instagram at BoostedBrad. My dude, John Jessup, thank you. 1 year supporting this podcast. And as always, you guys can check out Dream Rides, which is the spot if you're looking to have anything done to your Harley Davidson. His shop in Stockton, California is the spot for in-house dyno tuning, parts, service, and bike sales. And if nothing else, head on over to teamdreamrides.com, which is offering 100 days, same as cash financing on all products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to give John and the team a follow at Dream Rides John on Instagram. My dudes over there at Lexan Moto are looking for new dealers in 2020. So whether you're a small independent shop or a 20,000 square foot mega store, Lexan Moto has a partnership that will work for you. With awesome new gear and more on the way, Lexan offers very competitive dealer margins, fast shipping, and great customer service. Email them at sales@lexanmotorcycle.com and be sure to check them out on Facebook at Lexan Moto USA and Instagram at Lexan Moto. And don't forget to use offer code FASTLIFE at checkout to save yourself 15% off your entire order. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is killing the paint game with tons of great flakes, pearls, and other paint-related products. Check out painthuffer.com to see the vast amount of color options and get yourself stocked up with tape and other items needed in the custom paint process. And don't forget to use FastLife13 now at checkout to save yourself 10% off, and as well as give them a follow on Instagram under Paint Huffer Metal Flake. Well, guys, Thunder Max, they're the guys, rad dudes over there. They have a product for your Harley Davidson, right, to make it do all kinds of good shit. So check out Thunder Max. They have the computers to kind of help you do the dyno tuning, help you auto tuning, I guess is a better way to do it. They also have the electric fans, which I've been running on my bike for the last actually almost a year now. And let me tell you, it makes a huge difference in the operating temperatures. I was running, when I did my California ride, I was running up in the high 300s, which I thought was real strange, but come to find out it's pretty common on cammed up M8s. So with the fan on it, I was getting down to about the 320 degree temperature, I think 320, 330. So I thought it did pretty good. So if you guys want to look into those things and see if they have a computer for your EFI equipped Harley Davidson, go to shoptmax.com and follow Thundermax EFI on Instagram. I also want to thank the guys over at Big Bear Performance for supporting this podcast over this last year. Having front and rear Olin suspension dialed in by Kevin himself for my fat ass has made my experience on the road an amazing one this past year. Big Bear is the industry leader in Olin suspension sales, service, and tuning. Check out bigbearperformance.com, and you can always give Kevin a call and get the info and answers for your motorcycle's upgrades at 909-479-7788. What's up, guys? I want to remind you once again, we have the Fast Life Campout coming in strong. We're not canceling that shit. If this apocalyptic style virus gets worse, bring your guns. We're going to start a faction right there. We're going to just go ahead and, if you're a Walking Dead fan, we're just going to go ahead and, have our shit dialed in and be ready for whatever comes. So if you guys want to come to the camp out, it's going to be Thursday, April 23rd through the 26th at the Kriver campground in Moyers, Oklahoma. Hope to see you guys there. I also want to thank you guys for the continued support. We are having record number downloads on our podcast. We blew all my records out of the water last month, and it looks like this month we're going to blow this last one out of the water. So I want to thank you guys for that. And if you guys want to help support this podcast more than just listening, go head on over to our website, fastlifegarage.com, and you can become a patron, which is simple. All it is $1, $5, or $10, whatever you feel comfortable with. It will deduct it from your account monthly. It's easy. And you know you're supporting a podcast that you dig, right? The other best way to do it is to support our sponsors. I brought on kick-ass dudes that make kick-ass products and do kick-ass things. So check these guys out. I use all the products that we talk about on this podcast, or that our sponsors are, and I love them all, and that's why they're here. So check those guys out. This podcast is with a homie from Italy. I cannot say his name, and he tries to say it a bunch of times in the podcast, but he like does this Italian tongue roll, and I'm not even gonna fuck it up. So here's the Italian guy. It's a good one. It's a paint podcast, so check it out.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
Where are you staying at? What part of town?
It's Oak Cliff.
Oak Cliff?
Yeah.
That's the hood.
No.
It's not that bad?
No, not at all.
What's it by, like Bishop Arts?
It's not really. Well, Bishop Arts, it's maybe like 3-4 miles.
Okay.
No, 3 miles. No, it's very nice area.
Okay.
Actually. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Welcome to Texas. So when you talk, just keep the mic, like you can move it around.
Okay.
But just keep it like in front of your mouth.
Okay.
So adjust it. Like I said, if you're here, you know what I mean? Just keep it so that when you're talking, you're hitting it.
Yeah.
That way it'll catch up all your stuff a lot easier.
Right.
Make the audio better.
Yeah.
So, well, tell everybody what your name is, man.
Daniel?
Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel Mana.
I didn't know they had Daniels in Italy.
Not really. Not
really?
too many. Yeah, not really. I don't know. My mom just...
Are you originally from there?
Yeah. She's actually... My mom is from like a region called Friuli in the northeast.
Okay.
On the border with Austria. And there's a few more Daniels there. So
yeah,
maybe that's why I got that name.
I wonder if that's like a different... If that's a different, like, you know how different countries there have different names that are kind of known amongst the people that live there?
Yeah.
I don't know the right word to put it, but,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that could be also.
Because I've always heard Italian names are pretty wild. Like, they're kind of, like...
The typical Italian names, yeah, are not really wild, I would say, but something you don't really hear, like, abroad, let's say.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty...
So we met up in Arizona while I was at Paint. You were at Paint Huffers and you were passing through.
Correct.
What made you want to come to America?
Well, first of all, I got the opportunity to come and with my girlfriend, which is pretty amazing. And what made me come here? Well, first of all, I wanted to get to know all the people that are involved in this business. I wanted to go and meet Brian from the Paint Huffer. I had an order from Las Vegas, and so I wanted to come to America also to get this job done.
Yeah.
And I was pretty lucky actually that Homer Signs let me use his paint booth, and so
Yeah, you just had to drive all the way across country to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you flew into LA, right?
Right.
Did you go to Vegas first and then Phoenix?
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And then we drove all the way to Texas.
How'd you like the drive?
It was pretty cool, especially at the beginning. Then when we got to Texas after like El Paso, it started, getting a bit boring. But, it still is something, different for us. And
the funny thing is, like, that El Paso, that part that's boring, is the most amazing shit we have in Texas.
Don't say that.
It's, you're probably on Interstate 10, huh?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You stay on Interstate 10 and then you cut off. There's like Marfa and Alpine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like our really cool places. And it's just kind of like, compared to out west, it just doesn't look that cool.
Do you think so, yeah?
I haven't been yet. I need to go. So I don't know.
But so far, I think that like what we got to see here in Texas, I mean, I loved Houston. We both did, like me and Denise. We loved Houston. We are really enjoying the time in Dallas.
Yeah.
And so I think it's pretty cool.
It's got to be different, like culture-wise, is it?
Yeah, it is. It is very different. I mean, not very different like going to Asia or some other you know, Eastern countries or Middle Eastern. But there's a lot of differences, of course. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
How'd you like Vegas though? That's got to be the wild one.
Vegas, oh man, it's it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty wild, and I don't know. It's a kind of like I don't know. I have like a kind of mixed feelings. I've only been there for 4 days, I guess.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It seems like it's not a city that lives because of its inhabitants. Like it's mostly like tourism, I guess. And I don't know. I don't think it really has its own like identity. I don't know how to say. That's what I thought when I was there for 4 days.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Vegas is kind of like it's kind of a place to just get fucked up, basically.
Right. I guess so, yeah.
And you know, just kind of party or whatever. But LA is probably the bigger one for us. Like if you're not from here, there's so much, like even for me in Texas, like when I go to LA, it's like, whoa, like I saw that on TV, or that's this place I heard about in a rap song or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that, you know, is the American culture pretty strong in like in Italy and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, like what you just said now, like, oh man, I saw that in the movie. Like pretty much everything we get to see in the States, it's like being in a movie. Even when you see like simple stuff that, of course, it's everyday's life, like a police car or I don't know, all these diners, whatever. It's stuff that, you know, we were growing with that also. Like
that's crazy.
From TV shows from the 70s or 80s that we all grew up with, probably, yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were talking at Paint Huffer, you were saying like that you've been to like other countries as well, such as like, wasn't it like Philippines and stuff, or where was it? I can't remember.
Before coming over?
No, just like you've been.
In general? Oh, yeah. I've lived in China for 5 years.
What was that like?
It was great. I mean, it was really great. Yeah.
Did you live in the part that's like, what was it kind of?
It was like one of the biggest city, probably one of the most populated. Yeah, Shanghai.
Is that the one where they were like they were still under like British? Is that the one?
That's Hong Kong.
Oh, it's Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shanghai. Well, it had a lot of like Western influence, of course. But still, it's an amazing place to stay. For
what made you go there?
My studies.
For real?
Because I was a Chinese major at university, and then I got a job and I went there. So I stayed there for a while, and then I decided to go back to Italy. I was tired actually of being such a.
It seems like
it's a too fast city to live.
So how did you get like interested in doing the paintwork and the custom stuff?
Well, I got into painting like 3 years ago, and I've always loved bikes. That's something that since I was a young kid, I've always loved bikes, and especially Harleys, of course. And I don't know, I kind of always wanted to do something with bikes, but I'm not really interested in mechanics or stuff like that. So
there's nothing creative in mechanics.
Exactly. So I started thinking that I really should do something for myself, something that I've always loved. And it took a while to understand probably what I wanted to do, because I started painting 3 years ago, so I was 36. But I'm happy I did. Like I'm happy I started like following what I really wanted to do in my life. And now I'm doing this full time.
That's cool.
Yeah, I quit my job only like 7 months ago. And so, yeah, it's going to be a...
What were you doing before? Like
I was teaching.
Teaching?
Chinese in a high school, yeah.
That sucks.
It's pretty crazy, yeah.
You know, a lot of the painters, especially the ones that I've always followed from just Europe in general, they've always had just this, I don't know, like if it's always felt like the European countries have always had much more of a tie to motorcycles. You know what I mean? Like more people ride motorcycles daily out there. It's more of a natural part of everybody's day-to-day operations, maybe not crazy Harley Davidsons, but just motorcycles in general.
Yeah.
When here,
That's
everything's
true.
so spread out that like Harleys and motorcycles become like a recreational vehicle. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, actually.
So what I've always felt like is that because of that, you have so much more people that are so more ingrained to like motorcycles. It's more of a lifestyle for them.
Yeah.
And so people tend to put more money into making them personalized and fixing them up and things like that, which breeds higher quality builders and painters and things like that because there's more of a demand for it.
I agree.
Because Italy has some amazing bikes, amazing stuff out of Italy.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It's just like number-wise, it's probably a small country, And as you say, like a lot of people, they do spend a lot of money buying bikes, customizing them. Maybe not so much on paint jobs, I think.
Yeah.
Because out of 100 bikes you see around, maybe you see 4, 5 custom painted bikes.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that here.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot. I don't know. I mean, I guess population wise, we have a lot of bikes.
Yeah.
But they're so spread out. Like it's to get everybody in Houston to come out on their bike, it'd probably be overwhelming.
Right.
But in general, when you see it, it's probably like 100 bikes here and there. So, but yeah,
I was pretty surprised. Today in Dallas, we were hanging out in what's it called again? Deep Ellum. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw my first chopper in like almost 4 weeks. I'm in the States. Yeah, I saw my first chopper today. I didn't get to see a lot of bikes around.
Well, that's where Oliver Peck, he has the tattoo shop in Deep Ellum.
Oh yeah.
So he does from like Ink Masters and things like that.
Yep.
So he has a tattoo shop right there in Deep Ellum. And
okay, I didn't know that.
either it was him on a chopper or somebody that was probably in conjunction with him in some way going to see him or not.
Okay.
He's a chopper dude around here.
Right. It was a Sportster.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. Yeah.
So what all have you done in Dallas so far?
So far, well, we stayed with this amazing friend of mine, Jennifer, and by the way, I've known her since 2008 or 9 when I was in China. So we got to hang out with her. We got to eat some barbecue. We visited the art museum. We went to a couple of breweries.
Yeah, we got
very
those.
most important thing, of course, to do. And we're gonna go to Fort Worth tomorrow.
Yeah, Fort Worth's nice.
Yeah. I got to visit like that was something really amazing for me actually. I got to see the fire station in Good Prayers.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's something I've always wanted to be a firefighter.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
So how's it? They don't have fire stations like that?
Yeah, well, yeah. But it's something also. It comes from the movies, like big trucks and everything. Yeah. So it's always been exciting for me. And it might sound stupid and like nerdy stuff, but
if you were to ask, like, if I was in your country and I was telling you things I want to do, you'd be like, dude, that shit's.
I know,
it's,
probably.
Nothing to you. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah.
But it's the thing that like links me to Italy. So
yeah. And what would you do if you were to come?
Dude, honestly, I mean, I plan to come out there to Europe one day, but I think I want to, being married, I need to do it with my wife and go do the tourist thing.
Yeah.
But being selfish, like what I want to do is just go out there and rent a bike and just ride all of Europe, like spend a month or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that all the hard work taking place here, that probably in the next couple of years, once I get in my 40s, then I'll be able to take a month vacation. Yeah. I want to. I mean, I'm a huge fan. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say so much from the art thing. Like, Italy's full of a lot of art, a lot of, the Renaissance and things like that. Yeah. But I dig it, but I'm not like a nerd about it. You know what I mean? So, like, it's cool. I'd love to see it, but I really dig, like, just sitting at a coffee shop or somewhere and like seeing culture take place in those areas.
That's what I love to do when I travel. I'm not like into You know, go to see that, go to
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
go to that. 6 museums per day, like walk 1,000 miles. I'm more
Yeah.
like sit in a cafe, exactly. Experience the culture.
You know, like
and-
the one of the reasons why I want to do it on a bike is that like seeing things from a motorcycle versus seeing things on like a double decker tour bus. It doesn't seem the same kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being like ushered into it, which I am in a tour bus, but on a bike, I get to choose to turn down this street or
yeah.
go that way. So I feel like I'm exploring on my own
Yeah.
and I'm discovering in a different way than someone that's, you know, coming across a hill on a tour bus
Yeah.
and then, you know, there's so-and-so.
That's what I really hope it can happen next time I come over. I really want to ride a bike.
Even
in
if
the
it was a
States.
car, like if I,
Oh, yeah.
if I was over there and I had to rent a car or I could, I would do that. But it's kind of confusing because like when you think of Europe, Americans at least, I think a lot of us, you know, ignorantly, we think of Europe the way we think of the States, where you got Italy and France and
Right.
Germany. We don't think of them like,
We just said that in the car like 10 minutes ago, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that, like I know that, but like in passing, like just quick thinking like, oh yeah, let's go there and then we can go here. Then it doesn't register that like, oh,
Yeah.
each one has a border.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and things like that.
And
So
different language and
Yeah.
different culture and a lot of different things.
it seems weird how, I mean,
How small
you can
it
go
is.
east to west here and it's pretty white across the board. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
ain't like you get to one part of the country and it's like another language type
Oh, yeah.
thing, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And so like if you're in London and you go, you know, what would east, I guess it would be, it's like what after France, you're probably getting into more like, you know, Persian style or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you would say.
Yep. Like, for example, where we live, drive in a car, it takes 1 hour and a half to go to France, 1 hour and a half to go to Switzerland, and like 4.5, I would say, and you're in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So that's like Texas.
It's weird. It's like Texas.
I think I've seen a map of like Texas over
Yeah,
Europe.
we live in the north
And it's like-
west.
yeah.
And on the, like, very close to France. Only
Yeah.
the Alps, like, dividing us. And
Yeah,
it's
I want
super,
to
like,
see all that shit.
Yeah, man.
But I'm also
And-
like I want to see castles and shit. You know what I mean? Like I want to see that kind of stuff too. Like, you know, I'm not really a war nerd either, even though I know a lot of, you know, major shit took place over there. But just seeing things that took place history wise, I mean, like America, like I'm going to New York and Maine this year. And I'm really stoked about that because of the history of America starts there, really, or at least for the, you know, civilized part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way you would say it, but you go to Europe and it's like that shit's been there forever. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
the history and,
Oh, yeah,
and just,
forever,
you know,
really.
just stepping on the,
Yeah.
the cobblestones on the streets would probably feel like you know,
That's true. Also, like, not where we live in, like, but like the place where I come from, the city center or the town center, let's say, like, there's a lot of buildings from the 1300, and there's people living in there, and they're beautiful. I mean, they're not falling into pieces.
Wow.
You know, they're beautiful.
how,
They're
what's the
renovated.
weather? What's the weather like where you are? Does it get like
It
cold
gets
winters?
cold in the winter, yeah,
Yeah.
and pretty hot in the summer. Not as much as Texas.
Yeah.
And pretty humid too. So I would say almost like here, but colder in the winter.
How cold does it usually get? Do you know
Oh,
that?
25, 20
Is that degrees or Celsius?
Celsius.
Okay, so
So it's like minus something, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah,
20,
definitely.
isn't it? Well, I don't have the conversion now, but I think it's, yeah, it goes
Yeah, it's
like
probably something
Celsius, it goes like minus 10, something like that.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird because, you know, in my head, you know, I look at maps a lot. Like I'm a real nerd with that. Sometimes when there's absolutely nothing going on social media, I just like pull up Google Maps and be like, what's Chicago look like? And look at the streets and shit. You know what I mean? And every once in a while, like, you know, I'll be watching a TV show or a movie and they'll be like, oh, we're in this place. And, you know, I'm just like, well, where's that? You
And
know?
you go check it.
So when you notice like the longitude and latitude of things like going around the world, a lot of Europe is like kind of like for America is like Virginia North.
Yeah.
So when you look at like London and shit, like it's kind of where like Boston and Maine and shit is.
Oh, yeah, correct.
And as far as lines are concerned.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And you
right.
just you think of the Mediterranean, you think of like, I don't know if I would have said it was more of a tropic kind of a thought, but but
that's a bit too much.
Yeah, it's a little bit too high for the tropic type.
Yeah, it's not tropical. Yeah, it's not tropical, but it still gets pretty, like if you go to south of Italy, like Sicily, it's like North Africa, let's say.
Yeah, so have you been to like Greece and all that stuff? Is it?
No, never been there.
Is it kind of hard to get over there? Is it?
No, it's not. A couple of hours flight.
Oh, you got to drive. You can't just drive over there?
You could drive, yeah, but nobody does it really.
That's weird. That's got to be the difference between here and there, huh? Is we drive everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and y'all probably have trains and shit.
Yeah, trains. We don't drive that much actually.
For real?
Well, if you talk to people and you say, "Oh, tomorrow I gotta go to Venice," like from where I live, oh man, that's far, and it's only like 4 hours drive. So it's a different, feeling of distance, I guess.
That's weird. Yeah, so 4 hours is like from here to Galveston,
Oh yeah, correct. So. Yeah.
So what was the first thing, like when you started thinking about doing the paint, like what was your early inspirations to try to do it? Like what kind of, because the paint has a lot of directions you can go.
Right.
So, and you kind of have more of that chopper vibe with like the vintage look and stuff like that. Yeah. So who were some of your influences that got you kind of?
Well, when I started, like I have to be like honest, like I didn't know much about, painters in the States or painters even back home. I wasn't really following what painters were doing, honestly. And when I started painting, of course, like through social media and, internet research, blah, blah. Mostly, Instagram, of course, did the main thing. Probably, I don't know, main inspiration was probably being Chemical Candy, honestly, and Buckwild.
Buckwild, yeah.
And probably these two were also the first two that, I started following and getting into that. And then I didn't know anything like through like a website and page like the Painthoffer. I got to know a lot of artists, started following everyone, and I started getting into it. And that's how I ended up even like working more with the US than back home actually.
For real? Yeah. So like you had those jobs in
exactly
in Nevada and stuff.
So
is it pretty hard to ship things back and forth?
It's not hard at all. Like usually people when they ship like a gas tank, it's like $70 using USPS. 75.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I got like, for example, a small tank, like a narrow Frisco tank, a narrow peanut Frisco, and a small fender shipped from LA, and it was like $85.
Yeah, it costs that much to ship it from here to LA. Yeah, some bullshit.
I know. So that's why I'm also like lucky, let's say, to get to work with the States, which is an honor for me, of course.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of work here. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's got to be cool to be able to say it to other people. Like, yeah, man, I got this painted out from a dude from Italy. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Which is probably like some dude from Italy is like, dude, I'm gonna get somebody from America to paint my shit.
That's correct. Yeah.
That shit happens here too. It's like here in Texas, it's like we get all the California work, and then everybody in Texas goes to California for work. Yeah. It's just like some kind of weird.
The
bragging
grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, it's weird.
But it is. Actually, when the first tank that I've got to sell in the States, I was like, wow. It really opened my mind and a door to my future, I think, because I was like, wow, I never thought really that something like that could happen. And then from there, I really got into that, and, I worked
Was it through like Instagram and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way you do it, man.
And now, it's slowly growing, and I'm happy about it. Definitely.
So, since you've been here, have you gotten reached out by any more people for paint work, or?
Actually, a couple. Yeah.
That's cool.
Actually, a couple. Yeah, a guy from New York that I guess he's gonna send me gas tank and fenders probably this weekend.
Nice.
and another one that I need to go and see in Dallas. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
So you said you've only been doing it for about 3 years. So did you learn to do it from the base, so like body work and all the stuff going forward, or do you kind of use some other people to help you out with that type of stuff?
Well, the first paint jobs I did,
Well, I've learned the basics of painting from
Yeah.
a guy that does helmets back home. And after that, I've only, I got my first spray gun, compressor, couple of paint colors, and I started. Fucked up a lot of stuff, and that made me go like crazy. And so yeah, the first paint jobs that I did, it was just paint. I got like a body workshop do me all the body work.
Yeah.
And then I've learned with them, of course.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing everything myself.
See, I know how to do everything, and I prefer to get somebody else to do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps my shop clean.
Oh yeah, I would if I had a bigger working space.
Yeah.
And if I had like a lot of stuff coming in and stuff to get painted every month, maybe 3 bikes and 6 helmets, whatever. And I would definitely love to get the body work done by someone else. Yeah. Yeah. That would be great.
The weird thing about it, and I guess everybody's in a different place when it comes to custom paint and stuff, but to me, I like this, like, the smaller that I am and the smaller my operation, the less headache, the more I enjoy it all. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's really easy when you do great work.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you do is great. So, like, it's really easy to get, like, overbooked. Like, so many people want your work, and it's hard to say no. Like, that's one of the hardest things, because a lot of times especially when we first start, like, we're like, yes, anything. And then after a while, like, you get to a point where you're so overbooked, and then everybody's like stressing you out because they want their stuff, and it all takes time. And I found that, like, just keeping it super small and simple, and making it, not trying to make it harder for people to get work from you, but just being like, look, I already have this much work, I can't take on any more. Therefore, if you want to do work, then you have to wait.
Right.
And that way, if, like, yesterday, like, I didn't feel like working, I stayed at home and just drew. I just, like, worked on ideas and stuff. I didn't even come up here. And, like, if I had 4 employees downstairs and all this stuff going on, there's no way I could do that, you know?
No. Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I mean, I want to stay like a small custom paint shop, and pretty much I do agree with what you just said, man, because
it's one of those weird things, because when I first got into this, my idea of success with this was a big shop and multiple employees.
It's not mine. It's not mine.
Yeah, it was just that at the time in like 2004, that was the chopper boom. You know what I mean? So everybody was building choppers, and there was hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in all these type of things. And so you're like, well, shit, man, I need to do that. And then I need to buy a big old truck and trailer and go to every show. And it was the idea of success, and that just because that's what we saw out there, and then Instagram came along, and now we can, instead of having to just take everything in, we can just create this art that we create, and then just get the 5 people in America that want it, or the 5 people here, and charge a lot of money and do one thing.
Well, my idea at the moment, like, my idea of success is just like being able to do this job, pay my bills, and it means I'm successful. Like, of course, I want people to know, like, the way I work, that it's as clean as possible, and I work in a very transparent and honest way with customers. Yeah. And for example, if I say a date, that's the date I'm gonna, like, turn around. The pieces. But that's pretty much what I feel for, like, the idea of success at the moment. It's not like being known everywhere, but I'd like people to know that Nerodue does a good paint job, and he's cool to work with, and that's an awesome thing for me.
Have you had a lot of work from Italy yet, like, to do stuff there?
Oh, well, I did stuff there. Yeah, I did stuff there. I have stuff to do when I go back, like, in a couple of weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
How long have you been here? You've been here, it was like
forever.
4 weeks ago.
I almost forgot Italian. No, we've been here since February 11th.
Okay, yeah.
Almost 1 month. Yeah, 3 something weeks, yeah.
That's crazy. I've never... Usually I go on a bike trip for 2 weeks, and I'm, like, freaking out, like, hoping this place is still here when I get back and stuff.
Yeah, I know, man. I started to freak out too now, to be honest. But, yeah, we said, fuck, let's go and let's do it. we went to Helsinki for the custom culture show event, which was amazing, and February 6th. And then we said, yeah, let's go and take this amazing trip. 2 days.
So I mean, like that decision took place that
Oh,
fast?
no. That wasn't that quick, no. We've kind of planned everything, but not really well. We just said, yeah, let's go, and we'll come back to Italy on the 18th of March. And we weren't sure, like, even to come here to Dallas until, like, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember you were going to go to Houston for sure, because that's to do the job.
Exactly.
But, you know, what else did you have on plan? Like, what else are you planning on doing? Just going back to Vegas?
We will stop in New Mexico, in Roswell, because my fiancée, she's in love with aliens and UFO shit. So we'll stop there. And then we'll probably just go to Phoenix. Yeah, hang out there for like 2 or 3 days. I'm going to be there for the event on the 14th.
Exactly.
Which
Paint
I'm
Hooker.
so excited about.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. He always plans
so
them at
many-
the worst time for me to go back.
He doesn't know what he's doing, I think.
He's,
I'm kidding. No,
he's all over
he's
the place.
super, yeah, I know. He's super busy.
But the 14th, is that the show? That's the show, right?
Yeah, right, on Saturday,
So
yeah.
the Saturday event, yeah.
I'm so excited to meet all these amazing artists that, like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the best spot, man, right there in Phoenix. He's not far from LA and San Diego, and you know, you can fly there cheap as hell, so you can't really beat it, you know. I traveled too much already this year. I've only traveled, like, I went to LA for like a week.
Yep.
And then whenever I saw you in Phoenix, I was only there for 3 days.
You did, I mean, you traveled because of the podcast thing, right?
Well, the first in January I did. So we went and did a podcast in San Diego and LA. But when I came out there to Phoenix, I was working on this T-shirt deal that we're working on.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I was just there for kind of a quick deal, but I usually, every time I go to Phoenix, I go see Brian.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to get out there. It's like the great thing about getting connected to everybody on the internet, like from, you know, Instagram and social media and stuff, is there's so much opportunity just to go hang out with people.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, man, like I got a job I got to do, you know, I got to work still. It's like I can't just keep jumping on an airplane every month to go hang out with everybody and drink beer and, you know,
and get
shit
wasted,
like that. Yeah. But I want to.
Me too, actually. Yeah, you're right.
So have you got much into bikes? Like what kind of bike do you want to get into for yourself, or do you have any?
Oh, well, I don't have any at the moment.
Is it super hard to get like bikes there in LA?
No, it's not.
I didn't know if y'all had like a leader class type thing, you know? Because like Japan, I heard you can only have so many cc's on a motorcycle,
really?
and you have to get licenses for each one.
No, we can get any bike.
That's cool.
And ride any bike. I don't know what I would love. I love too many bikes, actually. I would definitely buy something old.
Yeah.
I love shovel heads. Probably my favorite motor. Yeah. And I don't know. I had my last bike that I sold like 6 years ago or something like that was a 1994 Evo.
There you go.
I loved it, but yeah, I had to sell it, unfortunately. Too bad. But we're talking these days, me and Denise, that maybe she will let me get a bike in the near future. Let's see.
What we do here is we just what's the saying? It's better to ask for forgiveness and permission. So just come home with it and be like, sorry.
Yeah, maybe I have to do that.
Yeah.
But if I do that, then she's gonna get a dog, and I don't want any dogs.
Yeah, I want a dog right now. When I went to LA, I hung out with my friend, and he does this rescue for pit bulls and stuff. And just hanging out with him and his dog, it's like, man, I want that, you know. But I travel a lot too, and you know, my wife would be pissed if I just kept leaving this puppy with her every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm struggling with it. I'm trying to figure out how to pull it off. Because it'd be cool, like because I could bring it to work every day, but like I ride a lot, like ride my bike a lot. So like today I rode my bike here, and then then you know, whenever we were gonna come, I went home and grabbed my car because I knew I'd be up here later.
Yep.
And so, you know, you can't just take your dog on the bike.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to have a dog, I think. I mean,
it's not hard here. Do y'all have like a yard where you're at? Or
no,
you're like
we don't.
Yeah, so that would be
it's
much
an
more
apartment
harder.
where we live.
Yeah. See, we have a yard. See, I've been living in like apartments downtown, and we just recently moved over here to where we have a yard now. And that's kind of what I was thinking, like, oh, I want a dog. But realistically, I don't want an outside dog. Like, the dog's going to stay in the house with us. So it's like, why, you know, the yard doesn't really make a difference. It's just a place for it to shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's a mess.
It's a mess, yeah.
But my wife has a cat, though. So she has a cat, and the cat's older. And the last time we brought a dog around the cat was pretty aggressive with it.
Yeah.
And so the kind of dog I want, like, I'd have to get a puppy. I couldn't get like an older rescue dog because that older rescue dog might not, you'd be like, fuck this cat. Like, I'll take it out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, yeah.
But just get the bike, man. Just deal with it later.
Yeah, I'll try to, yeah.
It's for both of y'all.
Yeah, we should. What do you think?
You have a good time.
Win the green card lottery.
She wants to win a lottery for the green card to come to the States.
So do y'all look at the States and like think about moving here or what?
Well, let's see what happens. Like, it's something that it's like in our minds, to be honest.
What attracts you to America to want to move here?
Well, we would love to, you know, change for a while at least, you know. And she, especially her, like she's been working for the same company for 10 years and she's really tired of it. So, you know, giving our lives a big change, that would be pretty cool actually. And States, well, the US, it's a place that I've always loved actually. I've been here, like, this is my 4th or 5th time. I've been here with my band in a small tour. Nice. I had a girlfriend actually from Maryland in 2002. So I've always been kind of connected to the US somehow. Yeah. And it's a place that I love being.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us like fantasize about other countries, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the difference between, like, you know, your guys' like government and all the shit that goes on, but it might not, like, your culture, or not your culture, but like your media or your society might not have as much going on as far as like we have Hollywood and all this bullshit here, right? But there's this part of us, like, where some of us escape to the country to get away from it, but it's still there, like, affecting us, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of us look at going to a place like Italy or other countries as like, I just want to get out of this motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, I want to feel like I'm in a place where, you know, society runs on effort and not so much just like social status and shit like that, you know? So
what I'm a bit tired of like life in it, not really life in Italy, because that would be too much saying that, but like, I'm tired of people always complaining. Like, back home in the last 4 or 5 years, at the bar when you hang out and you talk to people, at home when you sit down and talk to family, talk to friends, and people are always complaining.
What's the main complaint?
The complaint is mostly about, you know, taxes, government.
Oh, yeah. So same shit we deal with.
Yeah, probably the same shit, but at least it would be in a different language for me if I come here.
Yeah, you can tune it out easier. Yeah.
At least for a while, then I get tired of that. Oh, man. But no, honestly, it's true. I don't know, like, it's a little sad lately. Italy.
Well, I'm trying to brush up on my economics right now because I haven't really been up with it. But like, y'all, didn't some shit go down with like London getting rid of the euro or defecting from something like that caused like some type of, like, y'all all deal with the euro over there, right?
Yeah, right.
And like, there were some issues with that going. I'm trying to like, I'm looking for those synapses in my mind right now to catch it. So
Well,
But-
London. I mean, England leaving the EU. Of course, it's a big change for Europe, but I don't think it's something that really affected Italy that much, especially lately. It's pretty new. This thing.
I would feel like, in my very primitive mind of understanding how to, govern people, but I would feel like it'd be so much easier to govern a country of smaller people. That way it'd be easier to kind of create the needs of kind of like the needs of few over the needs of many kind of a situation. But here we have such a diversity between people that live in cities and people that own businesses and people that that live outside of cities that aren't privy to different cultures that take place on the inner city type things. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, I guess might be the right analogy, or it's just a disconnect between the different cultures here. And I feel like if you have a smaller society, then the cultures are way easier to kind of all understand each other. I don't know, like.
Well, yeah, it's true what you say.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong in that, but still, I don't know. There's something wrong at the moment back home. Like, there is no positive vibe.
Yeah.
Like, you feel that it's an old country. Like, we're still too linked on old shit. Like every day. Like, unbelievable bureaucracy to deal with. Slow bureaucracy.
Yeah.
People just trying to keep things like they used to be and not like looking forward. So this kind of makes me tired.
Yeah. I could see that. It's weird. It's got to be even crazier. I mean, isn't like the Vatican and shit there?
Oh yeah.
So you got like the oldest, or you got some hardcore religion shit going on there. So is it still like super religious country, or?
It is a religious country, and like a lot of fake also, like
That's here
pretending
too.
to be religious and but yeah, it's still pretty strong, to be honest, especially in the south.
Wasn't like Ash Wednesday last week or something like that?
I'm not sure. You're not talking to the right
Catholic,
person.
right?
Yeah,
It's Catholic, so that's Spain.
Yeah.
Fucking know. I'm absolutely not religious at all, but it's to me, I think everything's funny nowadays. Watching memes like destroy things. I think memes are the taking over of debating things nowadays. It's like, 'cause there was a big thing about like everybody talking about doing Ash Wednesday or doing the ash thing on their head, but all the sins they do every day.
Oh man,
So
yeah.
it's like
yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
It's horrible. Like you hear so many like bad news about priests and pedophiles back home, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how can like people still like be religious and believe in that? Like,
well, if they would just let them have sex, it'd be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, like, it's kind of like here, like Christian girls go to church camp and they won't let guys have sex with them, so they do anal. And they give blowjobs at 16. Like, that's, say get good at that, not just like intercourse.
Right.
Yeah. Trust me.
Cheers to anal.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I remember, that was kind of the thing that got me out of religion when I was a kid, because I was
Anal?
into it. Yeah, they say if you're forced to do it as a kid, you hate it as an adult. But no, that's a good one. Totally was. So I used to go to church a lot, and as I got older, like, and I would notice like all the kids were like just not really. I mean, I sound like a hater right now because they were all having sex and I wasn't, basically. But they were. It was just like this like hookup thing. Like everybody was just fucking. They were going to church to go to church camps to do all kinds of shit. And I was like, this shit's just fake. You know what I mean? Yeah. So. Like, we're waiting till we get married, and then she's blowing 4 dudes in a fucking cabin. It's like, yeah, like you're really avoiding this one, buddy. Yeah. So, it's crazy. What's even more crazy is just watching people. It's not to talk shit about people's beliefs and stuff, but just it gets weird. You know what I mean? Like listening to people like rationalize about so much in their life, and then it comes to that one thing, and they're just like, oh, but Jesus walked on water, and that happened.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, that happened, dude.
That's right.
So it's just weird. I don't know. I used to get real hardcore into that shit when like, you know, when YouTube first came out and you start watching all these videos and you'd see so much stuff and people like Christopher Hitchens and people, I read a lot of books from those guys, and then I'd get pissed and I'd want to say something, and I'd be like, you know what? That's exactly what Christianity is about, is saying something to everybody that's not doing what you're doing. So it's like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna take my knowledge and go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
So paint motorcycles.
And paint motorcycles. Yeah.
Not
Best
get
thing to do.
analyzed. So what else are you thinking about doing as far as paint? Like, where are you trying to take it? Like, I mean, do you have any kind of things you're really looking into getting better at and things like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I want to get better at pinstriping.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried it much? Oh, yeah, I saw you doing it at Paint Huffer.
Well, yeah.
I was drunk.
I was drunk, yeah.
Me too.
But, yeah, I tried it. And, yeah, I want to get better at pinstriping. And I definitely want to keep experimenting.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to try to get to a point where I really find my own style. I think I'm already working on that pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I would love to, be there when like people see something and they go, oh, that's painted by Nerodue, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably the main goal.
So me, I kind of when people say that, so what, my opinion, it's about taking all the people that you've found influence from, like Chemical Candy, Buck Wild, everybody that you like.
Yeah, I just said these two, but I found, I keep finding influences every day.
And so those influences, they start becoming a part of the way that you do work.
Yeah.
And that's how your style is going to be created. Yeah.
Right.
And so, for me, like I didn't really, I would think that my style came into play probably like a couple of years ago, and I've been painting since 04. Right. But you're doing so much shit to be like everybody else back in the day that you never really got to experiment, like you said, with yourself. And you having trouble with that?
Yeah, I'm having troubles. Fuck, I don't know.
The other way.
This way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So, for me and my style, like whenever I started doing the panel look, and then I fell in love with the race helmet stuff, and then I put them together, and as simple as stupid as that sounds, that's kind of my look.
I know.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like we always think, like as artists, like you think like, man, I'm gonna be, what's me, what's this, and when it comes to custom paint, sometimes it's just like, for a while my thing was like I found a way to put purple pinstripes on everything, and it worked. And I don't know how that happened, but it just worked.
Yeah.
And that I was kind of known for that. So it's really hard to find your own style, and sometimes you don't even get to pick it. You just do shit, and then people like it.
Exactly.
And then you're like, I guess I'm doing this forever now,
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm almost there. Like I love like playing with, very skinny flames and doing like transfers.
Yeah.
I love using like variegated leaf, colored leaf that and play with it. So it's maybe, like you say, maybe just putting stuff together and it'll come out.
Well, it's like you said, it's like experimenting. So the more of that you do, then you'll just, I think that when you have the freedom to do that, because the other part is if you get so booked out doing the work that you're currently doing, it gets really hard to kind of get off that path and try new shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for me, I still try to force myself to like paint some stuff for myself every year. So like my helmet's behind me. Like every year I paint my own helmet, and I try to do something different to kind of push me somewhere else.
Right.
That I might not at the time offer to customers, but I'm trying to work on it my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And it helps me kind of evolve.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah,
absolutely. I kind of forgot what I wanted to say, but I don't know what I wanted to say, man.
It's all right.
Fuck. I can't remember now.
So anal.
It was about experimenting and
anal,
basically just anal. I don't remember anymore. Anyways, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, you'll find your style, and it's just time, man. Like that's the one thing about all this shit when it comes to paint. And I guess if I was gonna consider any part of me to be some wise old painter now, is just time changes so much shit, man. Like the styles change. You know, one day like the style that we're doing, the panels, even what you're doing, it's not going to be popular, and you have to. You gotta then at that point you kind of need to know how to do like checkered flags, and you know those older styles because things evolve in the paint scene. You know, even flames like the chopper skinny flames come in and out of style, but flames are pretty classic. They always go. You know, and
now I know what I wanted to say. Like I consider myself like very lucky because like if I had to paint a lot of stuff back home. Most of the paint jobs that I see around are going to be bikes saying, oh, Harley Davidson. Maybe they'll change the color, put, flakes and Harley Davidson, And it's something that I really do not want to do, really, honestly. I'm lucky that when I get orders, we just discuss about the colors. They know what I do, like what's my style, and they pretty much let me do what I want. And they're happy, and I'm like, at least they let my creativity, go on. And
because trying to do things that you're not comfortable creates a lot of anxiety.
I say no, honestly. If you ask me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, I'm gonna say I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, and sometimes just to relate with you, it's I'll get asked to do jobs that I can do it. You know what I mean? I could probably do a pretty good job, but if I do it, then other people are going to want me to do it, and I really don't want to go down that path of doing that shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And fortunately, with social media, we're not really hurting for work, so I can just keep doing the shit I want to do.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best, man.
Have you done any helmets yet, or gotten into doing much of those?
I've only did a few, honestly. Yeah. I want to do more. I like the helmet like as an object, and I like to paint it. And so hopefully more will come. Yeah, I need to do more probably myself. Yeah, try to show
put it out there
that I can do also helmets. Yeah.
Well, so like what like a lot of people when they do like the chopper tanks, like I don't know what your price range is, but they're usually in like the $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000 range.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what we charge on helmets, and but we've kind of got to where we've been trying to push it on people they're buying it as art from us. You know what I mean? Not so much just like, oh, I need a helmet this year, which a lot of people wear them, but I want people to like put them on the wall after they're done wearing it, not just sell it with the bike or some shit. You know what I mean?
Same thing that like the other day, I got a message. I got a tank for sale at the moment, and this guy said, I don't have a bike at the moment, but it will look great on my wall. But let's see if he buys it or not.
Yeah. But that's what's cool about it.
It's art. I mean, I'm still an artisan, let's say, craftsman, but I don't really consider myself an artist. But it is art what we're doing, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like saying you're an artist is like taking selfies. Like people kind of don't like seeing you do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing it, but it's just one of those things like. It's like you're just not allowed to say it because people are like, oh, are you an artist?
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you mean because it's weird to say. Because also a lot of guys like yourself and even myself, like when I think of artists, I think about the people that are way more advanced than I am, and I put them on that pedestal. And sometimes, I'm just like, dude, I don't want to say that I'm an artist when I'm looking at him. Yeah. And he's an artist. Like I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? So as respect for that person, I feel like I'm an enthusiast artist.
Enthusiast artist, yeah. Same.
But yeah. No, that's cool, man. Like it's pretty fascinating to find out how people find their way into the custom paint thing because it's a very small world, in a sense, but there's still a lot of countries that are into it, you know what I mean? Like you see a lot of airbrush artists all over Europe, you know what I mean?
A lot, yeah.
So it's something that's like not just in the custom motorcycle paint or whatever, but you see a lot of car and people doing posters still, like art on buildings with airbrush and shit. So So have you thought about trying to get into the airbrush much or what?
Not really. Honestly.
Have you ever drawn have gotten into the?
Nope.
It's just
nope.
It's kind of it's a task.
Yeah, it is a task. Yeah.
But you use the airbrush to do any of the paint work at all? Like
I do
the details?
Yeah, I use the airbrush here and there.
Yeah.
But not for any like special.
So, you know, when you keep
murals.
doing that though, like when you keep using that airbrush, it'll kind of, it'll become like muscle memory.
Yep.
And you'll be able to use it and control it. And then at that point, after not paying attention, but just doing drop shadows and stuff for a couple of years, then you're like, okay, well, let me go try to draw something. You're like, oh shit, I can draw with this now.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you start looking at how to do the airbrush work versus it. The hardest part about airbrushing is getting comfortable with an airbrush in your hand. Mm-hmm. That's the hardest part. The rest of it, you can learn it. Everything.
Oh, I'm sure that everything can be learned. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's why when people are like, oh, you're so talented, I'm like, nope, I just worked hard.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
It's different. Yeah.
So
well,
how,
you work hard. Yeah. You get to a point where.
How was it when you first like grabbed tape and you tried to start laying out designs with tape? Was it very?
It wasn't like that hard for me, to be honest. I kind of felt pretty comfortable since the beginning. Of course, like experience, like you learn a lot of little mistakes and tricks mistakes that can happen and little tricks that can save you from mistakes.
Yeah.
But you experience to try different brands, different materials, etc. But it's not been very difficult to me.
Yeah.
It was pretty natural. Also, like laying down designs, panels, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what probably like took me and made me want to become a painter. Like, because I felt that, you know, I kind of had a vision on that before even I took a spray gun in my hand.
That's probably the only thing that possibly can't, you really can't learn that. Like, you got to be able to see things though. You know what I mean? Like, I get weird questions every once in a while in like Instagram. It's like, hey man, how do you be creative? And I'm like, whoa, like,
that's
how I don't know, dude. But you know, like to me, like I'll find color inspiration from a magazine and like a, you know, not even a motorcycle. It's just like, oh, that's a cool ad, the colors, or a billboard or a car.
Totally,
you know what I mean? And then you're like, man, those colors work well together. What's that color in House of Color? You know what I mean? Like, and then you start thinking, and then you find color combinations and
I bought a really, really nice book in Houston. You know Pantone colors? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like color options and colors put together, wheels of colors, and
nice.
Oh, it's beautiful.
One thing I used to have it, I don't have it here, but I used to buy graffiti books and like, I don't know what they would call it, like under the sea coral, like fish, I don't fucking say fish books, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what.
So, like, to me, you'll find the most crazy color combinations in like underwater, you know, like in like coral reefs.
Oh, right.
And like the way that some of the fish are in like tropical fish and shit.
Never thought about it.
They'll have like these shades of brown, and then like this blue comes into it, and then it's like fuck, and then you know, you'll see things like in like Native American culture has a lot of like the earth tones, and then the turquoise comes in, and it all kind of represents earth and sky and things like that. So, you know, you find combinations in other areas, and then when you find a way to do those in custom paint, it really changes it, because what most people do with custom paint is candy red, black is always a part of it, and gold. You can't get away from them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like they're like guaranteed wins is what it feels like. Like, you can paint something that color and it's going to look okay, but if you tried something new and it worked, man, like the way, like it changes because it's much more unique. Right. You know what I mean?
Color wise, I think that like the lowriders, like those paint jobs are like just out there, you know?
Yeah.
And those are like honestly a big inspiration if you want to.
Yeah.
Like you can look at a lowrider car and you can do like 10 different gas tanks using like maybe half of the colors they're using, you know? And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I try to replace black with gray as much as possible.
Yeah, you do use a lot of gray, actually. Yeah.
You know, and I do it because, in my opinion, I feel like black is a dead color, meaning that like when you use black in paint jobs, the more space you use black in, then there's nothing there. Like that part is just a void. You know, so if you use gray and you shadow it with black, then you give dimension to it.
Yeah.
So, and of course I still use black in paint jobs. You know, that's not saying I don't do it, but I try to replace it with other colors.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't look, it just looks more thought out in a sense. You know what I mean? Still, I go through a gallon of black a month. You know what I mean? It's, you know, still one of those deals, but I think gray, and it goes back to what you were saying about finding like your style. And I find a way to make all my paint jobs work with things like gray and purple pinstripes or whatever the case may be. And it kind of helps kind of like keep me looking like the way I want my shit to look. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
That's cool, man. I mean, yeah.
Anal.
Yeah, I'm always looking to do like use really weird colors that few painters use.
Yeah.
Especially like on maybe gas tanks that I paint and then try to sell. I'm always, you know, very careful with what I'm doing just because I know that it's going to be harder to sell, you know.
Yeah.
And but I want to play more and more with colors. Like there's so many cool combinations and cool jobs that you can do.
What I think it is with me is that like if I was a customer, not a painter, right? I would want a solid color as like my personal vibe or style that I guess I would have. Like I'm very basic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like clean, monochromatic or earth tone kind of colors. So when, you know, like I buy a lot of Dixon flannels, but I never wear them because I feel like they're too busy, you know, on me. And I feel kind of weird, you know, like I feel like a flag.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to paint, like I feel like me bringing the colors I use is kind of me throwing something that I really love, which is gray is my favorite color. So gray is my favorite color in life. And then, you know, when you're a painter, like you have a million favorite colors. Like, oh, well, my favorite color on Tuesday is purple. You know, so it's like I feel like gray is the one that I think I pull together the most. But then if I want to, you know, be a little out of my comfort zone, then I throw a little purple in there. That's my get wild color. You know what I mean?
But yeah, every day is it's true. Every day is a different color that you love.
Yeah.
Every day you see something that, oh man, I wish I could do that. Why didn't I do that? Yeah. And
that's
like a mind struggle every day, I think, to paint, but a positive one. Like
when you see people do stuff like that, you know, that's something that's happened to me before, where you see someone paint something, and you're like, fuck, man, like why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's you got to be like that to yourself because it forces you to be a little bit more in your head and try to like find those kind of creative things and find those differences that's not out there. And it gets hard. I mean, it's really hard, right? I can't imagine. Well, I guess I could imagine. I understand there's so many people, so many badass painters that you're constantly being bombarded with people doing great work. So it could be intimidating, like here and there. But I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the work that you do is fucking dope. So I mean, you're fucking pulling it off. 3 years, man. That's a tough one. Not a lot of people.
Thanks.
I think a lot of people don't stick with it that hard. Like when I learned how to do it in 2000, like I grew up in a body shop, so I knew how to sand and do that. But when I got into custom paint in 2004, there wasn't as many people doing it, and you could kind of fuck up a lot.
Yeah.
You know, you really could. Like you could fuck up all the time because people weren't putting custom paint jobs on MySpace. I don't know if y'all had that there.
Oh yeah, we did.
So nobody was doing that. So when Facebook came around, that's when people started using social media to kind of promote their work. And by that time, I had already kind of developed a little bit of skill, if that makes sense. So there's like 5 years or 4 years of me just straight fucking people shit up that's not out on the internet for people to come tag me in and shit. You know what I mean? Kind of get away with murder there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got to be tough, man, like getting out there. But like I said, man, you're fucking here 3 years.
Yeah.
My brother's been painting for fucking 15 years and he can't even pull a line.
Really?
With tape. Well, Well, he doesn't want to do it. He's a musician like you were.
Oh yeah.
What kind of music like
indie rock.
What'd you play? Did you play
guitar? Yeah,
guitar.
Guitar. Yeah.
Why'd you give that up? You get so many more ladies. Did you get her with the guitar? Or did you get her with the paintbrush?
No, none of them. We've been friends for a long time. We've known each other for a long time, not friends. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you said, like 3 years for me being here and being able to like be in this podcast in the US as a custom painter. It's something amazing, like amazing.
Yeah,
it's not that it doesn't mean that I made it, but still it's something that I achieved in 3 years, and I got to know you guys. And
well, I think a lot of that is putting yourself out there to meet people. I mean,
right.
I mean, you're not from here,
right.
So being here and the effort and the work that you're doing now, like traveling across,
Yeah, it's also like,
yeah,
for that, of course.
But I mean, like, fuck, man, like, yeah, that's what's cool about it.
It is.
And then 15 years from now, hopefully we're all still painting.
Hope so, yeah.
And then, well, hopefully I don't want to paint in 15 years, but if you still want to.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
You don't want to paint in 15 years?
No, man, I don't want to. Not for a living.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I think, a lot of people on the podcast that listen to me, like, I feel like if I have to paint still when I'm 50 years old, that I did not do something right. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, when I airbrush, I'm literally sitting there with an airbrush and this far away from paint all day long, and I can't for the life of me wear a mask whenever I airbrush. It bothers me too much.
Okay.
So for the sake of better artwork, I put my health in jeopardy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so my hope is, realistically as a painter, like, even though I don't smoke and never have, but because I've spent so much of my life in here, I don't know if you could smell paint while you walked in. I don't smell that. Like, I don't.
Oh, I know. It's me too. Like, if you get to my shop, it's
like people walk in my shop sometimes. It's like, dude, like, how do you sit in here? And I'm like, well, what are you smelling? Did I fart? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But
I know. Get used to it. It's not.
So when like when you think about it, like, okay, well, I feel like in my career, I'm just now getting to a point where, like, I'm really getting a lot of recognition for my work. And I'm like, well, fuck, now I feel like I'm about to blow up and I'm already looking for an exit. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like, I want to continue to paint forever, but it has to get smaller. It has to be less for me to, and not my livelihood, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, it's not something that I feel at the moment because I'm very new, let's say. But yeah, I kind of understand like how you feel. You've been like doing that for 15 years now. So 16 this year.
So 16 years this year.
So it's a lot.
And then, all through high school in a body shop. So
that's a lot.
I mean, technically, if you would say when I first picked up a piece of sandpapers, probably 20 years ago, but you spend all that time around paint and stuff, and like you thinner on your hands, and it's in your skin, and it's like you just think like, fuck, man, like
I started like enjoying it, like washing my hands.
Oh, I do it every day.
I love acetone now,
Yeah, dude, I wash my hands with thinner every day. Like, when you have paint all over your hands, you're like, fuck this, man. Like, I'm not gonna scrub my hands with soap. I'm gonna get thinner. It comes right off. And then you got fucking red bumps on your arms and shit. But no, it is a weird thing. It's just the thing that kind of worries me. I don't want to like get to where I'm like 60 years old and then I have like serious respiratory issues where I have to walk around with a goddamn fucking oxygen tank.
Yep.
Those kind of things like worry me because, the weird thing about you're like what, 39? Is that what? So I'm 37. I'm 38 this year, and I look at like things to where I don't feel 38. I feel 20s.
Me too.
And I look at my life like there's a million of these years left.
Yeah.
And what's scary is that like when you like doing this kind of stuff, you have to be mindful of that. And I don't want to like get to a point where, like we were talking about going to Europe earlier. Yep. I don't want to get to a point where I haven't done it yet because I think I have all these years left.
It's too late.
And then I can't. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to make a big name for myself, continue to paint forever just to fulfill that void, and hopefully have a name where the helmets or the whatever art I create is worth money to somebody. I mean, how badass would it be if like you had a bad, like if you were Chip Foose or some crazy airbrush painter, whatever, and all you had to do was paint one thing a month.
That would be awesome.
And then paid your bills, and you could go just enjoy life a little bit. You know what I mean? That's success to me.
Exactly.
You know, fuck the shop and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That'd be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Get a little anal while you're there.
Cheers. Yeah.
So what? You're leaving here. You're gonna go to. How many more days are you gonna spend here in Dallas?
Leaving on Monday.
Monday.
Leaving on Monday. Yeah. Driving to Roswell. And then Arizona again.
Roswell. So it's like right off 380. I've ridden a bike through there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's actually, you know what's really crazy out there? I don't know if you'd be into this, but there's missile silos. You ever heard of them?
Nope.
So in like the I don't know what I guess it's a valley where like White Sands, New Mexico, Ruidoso, all the way up through there. There's like missile silos where you can kind of Google it and probably find some, and you can get in them. And you go and there's like on the ground, it'll be like flat land, and there'll just be like a doorway in like a brick thing, and then you go in it, and there's like 13 stories of just like stairs, and it's like a missile silo. What missiles would be in there to come out of the ground, and it's all over the place out there in New Mexico area.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Definitely. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow,
if I
that's
can
pretty
find
cool.
But yeah, that sounds really alien. It's like when you drive into it, there's like signs everywhere.
Jesus, so. She's gonna love it.
You believe in aliens? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to podcasts before?
Oh yeah.
Did you listen to one with like Bob Lazar and I
haven't listened to that one.
And
no.
Joe Rogan, he had Bob Lazar on, which is a guy that used to live in New Mexico and went to work for I don't remember what the company was, but he's the one that tried to expose Area 51.
Okay.
And everything he said in the 80s ended up becoming true now.
Oh man.
But people like shunned him out and said he was full of shit then.
Yeah, we hopefully see a couple of aliens.
You know what's good about being out there though is like some of those areas are like the darkest places in America. So in the middle of the night, like if you're a little bit out of the cities, you can kind of get the most sky, like see the stars like ridiculous. You know what I mean? Which that's one of the cool things about being out there. You can but you can't be in like Roswell. You have to be kind of out of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you can literally see the Milky Way pretty clear. It's pretty wild out there.
Yeah, we love the West actually. We loved it.
So have you been east at all?
She hasn't.
Is this your first time in America?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the West
very
is
different. Yeah.
The West is it's like it has everything's bigger, right? Everything's more grand, and it seems it's really hard not to love it because it just feels comfortable.
It's trippy.
You know, like I haven't been east yet, so I can't talk shit. I can't say that it's not great northeast. Planning on doing that this year, but yeah, when you go west, man, you just feel like, to me, when I'm especially on my bike, I feel like a cowboy going across the fucking desert, going to the next fucking town and shit, you know, or you think about like how difficult it was for settlers to move west, you know, getting over the mountains and, you know, the railroads and all the things that took place. And it's that's the kind of shit I think about when I'm driving through the desert or riding through it.
Yeah, we were discussing in the car, like it's really strange, like how like some of the most important cities in America, in the West, of course, they were built in a desert. Like it's really, why? I mean, that's very weird, actually. Like Vegas and, you know, Phoenix, it's in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
It's very strange, actually.
I think Vegas was a mob thing, though. So the mob built Vegas. And then Phoenix, I don't know. I really don't. I think they just needed a hub. If you think of that,
why? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just needed a hub to get to LA. Like, oh, we need a place to chill, you know?
Probably.
What's really fascinating, if you like ever look into like the railroads and like how they moved east to west, like through Cheyenne was a railroad town. Like a lot of the towns up north were built that way. And like even here, so like if you go 20, like Interstate 20, or you came up 45 to here.
Yeah.
In Texas and in the Midwest, a lot of the towns are all spaced out 30 miles apart, which, and I could be getting this wrong, and I've said it before on the podcast, but it's like these major towns are 30 miles apart, and it's like that's how long it was for like, say, if you were on a horse one day to, it was a day's ride to get to the next town.
Yep.
And there was also the railroad, so it was like every 30 miles the railroad had to pull the town up and go and start the next town.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So downtown Dallas, downtown Fort Worth, 29 miles. Downtown Dallas, Waxahachie, where you're at right now, 30 miles. 30 miles from Waxahachie, Hillsboro. 30 miles from Hillsboro,
right.
Waco. Waco to Temple to like, I think I forgot the name of that town. But then it's, it goes to all the towns, the bigger towns, right?
Okay.
And it's just when you start thinking about that, like that's how the shit was built.
Sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and same thing, you go west, you keep going down 20, going towards Phoenix and shit. It's like Fort Worth, Weatherford, and then you start hitting these towns, Abilene. When you get out in the like towards El Paso, then they get a little bit further apart. But it's pretty wild. So we have that documented though here. You know what I mean? Like you guys, like who the fuck knows how Italy started? It's like the first humans were there. So you got a couple more days left in America. What's probably the biggest thing on the list before you get out of here?
Oh man, it's gonna be the Painthoffer show.
Painthoffer show.
Yeah, that's for sure something I'm looking for. I've been looking. I was supposed to come over in November for the first show he did, I think, and then like I didn't make it, and so I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, especially to meet all these people.
There's gonna be a lot of people there.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited about that. Like super excited.
And then so after that, you're going back to LA, and then
fly back.
Was
Correct.
it easier to fly to LA versus like being from Italy?
Oh yeah, like we don't need a visa to come to the States.
For real?
Yeah. And you don't need a visa to come visit. No, yeah, we can stay here for 90 days without any issues. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I need to start. On our podcast, we have listeners like all over Europe, like everywhere. It's fucking weird because I don't. It's not like individual people we see, but like there'll be, 500 downloads from Italy or from Spain or from whatever. And it's like, man, like you guys need to reach out to me, man. That way I can have some friends over there so I can like.
Well, now you have a place in Italy to stay. That's for sure.
Well, cool. Well, shit. Yeah. Tell everybody your Instagram and how to find you and stuff like that.
Nerodue, Nerodue _Kustom with a K. That's
Classic.
my Instagram. Yeah.
Sweet. Do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, nerodue.com. That's it. That's it. So you guys come and see what I do and hit me up if you want to get something painted.
Sweet. Well, hey, man, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys came here, man.
Thank you.
You're the first guy we've ever had from overseas on here.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
You get to be that virgin for me.
The pleasure. Oh, yeah.
Anal.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Peace. Really hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to thank his name again that I can't pronounce for coming and doing this podcast and making this a stop on his long journey through America. I also want to thank our sponsors, SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com, TeamDreamRods.com, BigBearPerformance.com, ShopTmax.com, PaintHuffer.com, and FastLife13 for 10% off. Lexan-Moto.com, FastLife at checkout for 15% off. And last but not least, my dude, BoostedBrad.com and FastLife at checkout for 5% off. Thank you guys for checking out this podcast. We will be back on Thursday with my dude, Zach. Had a good time. That podcast is in video form. If you want to go check it out on our Facebook, it's up there right now. And like I said, we will be releasing the audio version of this podcast on Thursday. And also, you'll always be able to go to check out the video podcast on our website, fastlifegarage.com, under the Fast Life Podcast tab. So we're going to be back soon. And you guys have a good week. And, don't touch your face or whatever they're saying. Peace.